She was the only one who could have made Tommy Lee Jones hate her more. Jones was born in the small Texas town of San Saba on September 15, 1946. Jones grew up in Texas, in the middle of nowhere. His mother ran a beauty shop, taught in schools, and was a police officer. His father worked in the oil fields. As a child, he had a strong sense of place because he grew up in the vast Texas scenery. This sense of place would shape him for the rest of his life. His early years were marked by self-control and hard work, which are still important parts of how he acts today. Jones decided to study English literature at Harvard because he was given a scholarship. This shows how much he loves language and is interested in learning new things. During college, he shared a room with Al Gore, who would go on to become vice president. They had him play point guard on the basketball team, too. He had the same drive that would make him popular in Hollywood, which helped him do well in school and sports. Jones came to New York City after high school to become an actor. He was set on making a name for himself in a firm that is known for being very tough. He got his first paid job in the Broadway show A Patriot for Me that same year. It was the beginning of a long rise that would make him one of the most important movie figures ever. It all began with small parts in TV shows and movies like One Life to Live and Love Story, 1970. Jones wasn't well known at first, but his hard work and commitment made him well known quickly. He didn't want to be famous. He didn't take his eyes off the performance art. Jones was the most famous person in the world in the 1980s and 1990s. In the 1982 movie The Executioner's Song, he played a killer on death row named Gary Gilmore. In the 1980 movie Coal Miner's Daughter, he played Loretta Lynn's husband, Dooley Mooney Lynn. But his Oscar-winning performance as U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard in The Fugitive, 1993, sealed his place in movie history. He did a great job because he was in charge, smart, and funny in a unique way. After that, he played the part again in U.S. Marshals, 1998. After that, his roles in Men in Black, 1997, No Country for Old Men, 2007, and Lincoln, 2012, were all very good, showing that he knew how difficult people are. Jones is not only well known for his playing, but also for directing. It was a sad modern Western that he directed and acted in. It was called The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. People liked the movie because it told a good story and had a lot of moral meaning. Jones loved the American Southwest, and the movie showed how much he knew about right and wrong, loyalty, and forgiveness. He was very good at filming later movies like The Homesman, 2014. These movies showed how much he wanted to capture the spirit of the frontier, which was important to him in both his personal and professional life. Tom Lee Jones is famous, but people have always thought of him as quiet and humble. A lot of people know him for being honest and sharp. He would rather live a quiet life than be in Hollywood. He owns several ranches in Texas, but he still lives on the farm. He acts tough and independent like a lot of the roles he plays on TV and in movies. People who have worked with him say he is strict, smart, and loves his art a lot. It's important to him to be honest and real in both his personal life and his work. Tommy Lee Jones has been an actor in Hollywood for a long time and is very well known. He has done a lot of great work in his life, but his relationships have also been important. They show how his personality has changed through love and friendship. He has been married to Catherine Lardner, Kimberly Claughley, and Dawn Laurel. Each of their marriages shows a different part of his personal and business life. They also show how his need for privacy, safety, and purpose has changed the person he is in public. Jones got married to Catherine Lardner for the first time in 1971. Catherine's family was well known for writing books and making movies. She is the granddaughter of the famous author and actor Ring Lardner and the daughter of Ring Lardner Jr., a famous screenwriter who made it through the Hollywood blacklist era even though he won an Oscar for his work on MASH*, 1970. Jones was able to make friends with a family of Hollywood and literary figures through his marriage to Lardner. As an actor, Jones had just graduated from Harvard and was making a name for himself in both movies and plays when they got married. His early work had ups and downs, and their marriage was there for them all. He soon had small parts in movies and TV shows like One Life to Live. Although they were intellectually close and loved the arts, the pair seemed to be having a hard time because of the demands of the movie business and Jones's growing professional responsibilities. He also spent a lot of time away from the set. When Jones and his wife split up after 7 years of marriage in 1978, it was the end of his first real relationship. Although they broke up, Jones's marriage to Catherine Lardner taught him more about what it takes to work for the government and how much it costs. It also gave him a better look at the creative people in Hollywood. He became more humble and down-to-earth when he married Kimberly Claufley in 1981. Jones had a lot of ties to Texas, and Kimberly's father, Phil Hardberger, would become mayor of San Antonio, Texas. Jones was who he was because of this link. Jones became well known while they were married for 15 years. From JFK, 1991, to The Fugitive, 1993, to Coal Miner's Daughter, 1980, he played some of the hardest and most different parts in Hollywood at the time. Tom Lee and Kimberly Jones had 2 children, Austin and Victoria. Everyone who knew Jones well knew how much he loved his family. He often talked about how much he loved living on his ranch in Texas with his wife and kids. It was a great escape from the busy life of Hollywood. But as his fame grew and he had more movies to do, troubles began to show in his marriage. It was hard for them to balance having a family with their dreams of becoming famous all over the world, so they finally got a divorce in 1996. Jones loved being a parent so much that he stayed close to his kids even after they moved out. Jones was truly happy in 2001 when he married Dawn Laurel a 3rd time. Jones met Dawn while making one of his movies. Dawn was very good at taking pictures. They became friends because they both liked stories, art, and the way simple things can be beautiful. With Dawn, Jones's relationship was much more private and quiet than his other marriages. Jones's Big Cattle Ranch in San Saba County, Texas, is a show of his love of the land and his cowboy roots. He and his friend often hang out there and have fun. They've made a life for themselves away from the fame of Hollywood. Jones and Dawn have worked together on a few business projects, and Dawn has some of them with photos. Their long-lasting, peaceful marriage is based on mutual respect and a love of art and nature. It shows how mature the actor is and how much he wants to find inner peace after decades in the public eye. Tom Lee Jones has been married 3 times and has felt a lot of different kinds of love each time. Before he married Dawn Laurel, he wanted to be smart and was in a relationship with Catherine Lardner when they were teens. After that, he had a family and was committed to Kimberly Claufley. Jones's love life went through different stages with each relationship, like how he went from being a young star to an American movie legend. She was the only one who could have made Tommy Lee Jones hate her more. That was the noise on the set of the dark road drama Back Roads, 1981, which Jones appeared in with the famous actress Sally Field. The plan looks good on paper. 2 Oscar-winning actors will work together on a dark Southern story. But there wasn't any cinematic unity behind the film. There was instead a storm of strong emotions caused by personalities clashing, egos being broken, and deep-seated hate. Some say that while the movie was being made, Tommy Lee Jones, who was already known for his unbearable anger and skill, became even more angry at Sally Field. The stress affected both their results and the mood at the site as a whole. Jones was just beginning to become known as one of Hollywood's most dangerous main men in the early 1980s. His career took a big turn at this point. People who worked with him were often scared by his methodical acting style, which included long periods of silence, intense focus, and a dislike of humor. To be sure of everything, Sally Field was not like other people. She was moody and rash, and she didn't mind pushing the guys in her life. She was a star and a strong artist, and she had just won her first Academy Award for Norma Ray, 1979. She felt calm no matter what. Things went badly when these 2 stubborn people got together. The makers weren't looking for a romantic kind. They wanted one that could start a fire. Their points got a lot of attention. People on the crew remembered that Jones would storm off the set because she didn't like how hard Field practiced and insisted on doing more than one take. He thought that the way she was acting was too passionate and bothersome. She believed he was rude, detached, and cocky. Tom didn't feel bad about how he felt. He said he thought Sally was too dramatic and too controlling. Glenn Corbett had a small part in Back Roads. He told me one day, "I can't work like this. This is not for the part, but for herself." The main reason they don't agree is that they have very different ideas about art, which Corbett brought up. For Jones, accuracy, self-control, and discipline were very important. For Field, on the other hand, deep understanding and connection were very important. Even worse, their characters were supposed to be in a dangerous relationship on screen that needed them to trust and be honest with each other. They were so angry at each other that the movie's director, Martin Ritt, was said to have had trouble keeping the peace. Jones was already very angry, but the fact that Ritt had worked with Field before on Norma Ray and admired her made things even worse. Reports say he felt like Field was getting special treatment and that his own work wasn't getting enough credit. He also believed that the set was based on an artist's desire. That made Tom Lee Jones, who was strong and bold, angry. The memory of Corbett was that Tommy had a quiet anger about him. She would try to give him a letter or an idea, but he would just act cool and look at her. It looked like the air was really cold. He didn't scream. He didn't say anything. You knew he hated everything about it, though. Jones was mad, even though he didn't say it out loud. He was real and pure because he kept his anger in check and showed it in his eyes. Field later said that Jones was mean and tough, and it was hard for her to work with him. Even after Backroads was shot, they still didn't get along. The two stars barely talked to each other at the movie premiere, and Jones wouldn't go on any press tours with the other actor. Folks who know Jones say that in later appearances, he always called Field the actress instead of her real name. After many years, Sally was proud of how professional she was. When someone asked her about her co-star, she tried to be nice, but she couldn't help but make a joke. Some actors think that connection is weakness, she noted. I think that's what stories are all about. Instead, their anger made things worse for Backroads. Critics said the movie was emotionally unstable and that the key characters didn't seem to have much in common with each other. However, the stress that came from real events made the movie more honest than either of them could have been. After what happened, Jones is even more sure that keeping mental distance on set is very important. It taught Field that even great artists can fail when they let their pride get in the way. I heard once that they were like water and oil. There were two very smart people who couldn't agree. Tom liked her skills, but he didn't like the way she did things. He was in charge, and Sally respected that. But she couldn't stand it when he kept quiet. That's one way that hate can sometimes spread in this field. Backroads is a record of the close relationship between two famous people at the height of their careers. It's also a story about two troubled souls who travel together but can't find peace when the cameras are away. People who knew Tommy Lee Jones well say that he never talked about Sally Field again in public, but he was mad at her for years. This was meant to show that even the best actors can mess up a scene when two people who don't get along fight.